Hi, and welcome to episode number 19 of Get Involved Pittsburgh here on PCTV 21 and 47. My name's Tom Baker, and I'm very proud to be your host of this television show. Thanks so much for tuning in on 21, 47, or online. We love all the folks that view and watch our show here on a regular basis. We have a great set of guests here with us today. The theme of this show is making the Burgh a stronger community, and it's going to be a question that we're going to ask all of our guests today is what their organizations are doing to make Pittsburgh a stronger community. All of them do really fantastic work. We're really lucky to have such a great set of guests with us here today. Just to give you a quick update on how things are going with Get Involved, that's the 501c3 nonprofit organization that I started some years back and that put this show together. We're doing really well. We had a great 7th annual service summit earlier this year, had over 350 people there for the service summit. It was a great success. We always have such a good time at that event with terrific speakers, honorees, vendors in the back of the room who help people in our region get involved in community and civic organizations. So the Service Summit was great. We'll have an 8th annual Service Summit in early spring. The Power Hour series, Power Hour turned 58 earlier this week actually. We had our 58th Power Hour, and that's our quarterly gathering where people come. We have terrific panelists this week. We had Michelle McMurray from the Pittsburgh Foundation. We had Justin Davis from Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, and we had Officer Francis from the Pittsburgh Police, all who shared incredible insight on how they're making a difference in the region. To give you updates on 59 and 60, Power Hour number 59 will be on Monday, September 12th, and that's going to be a little bit different. We're actually doing it, the first hour and a half will be the community power hour, everyone getting to know each other and learning, and then after that we're going to have a Steelers versus Redskins football watch party, so that'll be a lot of fun. And then our 60th Power Hour will be Tuesday, November 15th from 6 to 8 p.m. So we always enjoy that. We also recently graduated our 6th class of the Fast Track program. We now have 61 graduates of our Young Leaders program, people generally in their 20s and 30s that want to do more outside of work and make a larger impact here in our region. We're really proud of all 61 alumni that we have from our program. We'll be running a 7th cohort of that program coming next spring, so please be on the lookout for that. But let's get to these great guests that we have here with us today. Marilyn Jenkins will be our first guest in just a minute. She's the Executive Director of ACLA and runs the Library Association here in Allegheny County. Then we'll be learning about PUMP, the Pittsburgh Urban Magnet Project. Board Chair Elise Pinchback and the Board Secretary Kylie Lasota are here with us. The co-chairs of the Big Brothers Big Sisters Big Recruitment Board, Lauren Sheeb and Matt Collins, are in the studio here today, along with Big Sister Taylor Webster. They'll be sharing with you a little bit later in the show. And then we're going to wrap up with somebody that makes me seem complacent and not energetics, and that's going to be Doug Smith, who is, you'll love him. He'll be our 4th guest today, talking about the Light of Life rescue mission and all the good work going on there. So with that, I want to introduce everyone to Marilyn Jenkins. She's here. She's the Executive Director of ACLA, the Allegheny County Library Association. Marilyn, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Great, great. So those that are watching at home, tell us a little bit about ACLA and the work that your organization does.
Well, you may not know this, but we actually have 45 independent libraries in Allegheny County with over 70 service locations. So they're out there in the community. If you need a library, there's one there for you. So we're involved in all kinds of work. Primarily, libraries are more of an educational institution now. Mm-hmm. We help kids get ready for kindergarten, because if you're looking for some place to learn basic reading skills, a library is a great place to go, and librarians are trained professionals. We help kids in school with curriculum support, so if they need someplace to go after school, you know, schools right now have this emphasis on what they call the flipped classroom.
Okay.
So what that means is they encourage the students to go out into the community to learn, mm-hmm. and bring those lessons back into the classroom to analyze, assess, build on. So libraries have really partnered with schools in providing a lot of opportunities to support the curriculum. STEM learning, you name it. We're blowing up, you know, soda bottles and kinds of experiments and racing cars and everything. So
it's a lot more than just the typical books on shelves that I think people envisioned when maybe I was growing up. You know, you just went there, you got the books, and you left, and that was.
It is.
There's a lot going on at the libraries here throughout Allegheny County. A lot of our viewers are in the city of Pittsburgh proper. Mm-hmm. How many libraries do we have in the city itself?
Well, the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh has 18 branches within the city proper. And it's a dynamic system. They are very involved in the communities that they work in. I live in the South Hills, and I'm very close to the Brookline branch,
Oh, sure, right, yeah.
the Beachview branch. One of the wonderful things, if you haven't been in one of the locations of the Carnegie recently, they have renovated many of their locations, and they are wonderful spaces, just there for the community. So do visit if you haven't been in.
All right, excellent. I was telling you earlier, I was just at the Northland Public Library last week and was just honestly blown away by, first of all, just how many people were there. The diversity of what people were doing in the library was fantastic, and then just the amount of resources. We were talking offline with some of our future guests on the show here just about some of the different resources they use. What are maybe some of the things that libraries have that people might not even know about, if it's DVDs or CD, you know?
Well, you mentioned books before, and you know, we typically think about a library with stacks and stacks of books, but many books are digital now.
Sure.
And so you can actually download books, you can download audios, videos directly from the library collection. If you don't have a device or don't know how to use that, a librarian can help you. We also do, one of the things we were talking about before is there are all kinds of classes going on. There are basic conversation groups. If you know me, I'd like to go to Italy. Great place to go to learn something about speaking Italian. Libraries have conversation groups where you can go and practice and get basic skills. If English is not your primary language, there are conversation groups specifically for people from other countries who are trying to absorb more and more of the English language. So there are lots of opportunities for, we have programs in libraries. I looked last week, everything from backyard beekeeping, which, you know, that's a little fascinating, all the way to Zumba, yoga classes. There's all kinds of things going on in libraries.
Diverse programs going on there. That's excellent. How old do you have to be to join the library? I guess I'm just wondering if I'm sitting at home and maybe watching, and we actually have a lot of young viewers of the show. If I'm 12 years old or if I'm 42 years old, how do I actually join the library?
You show up.
You show up. Okay, that sounds easy enough, Marilyn. Okay.
And you can be just about any age. We have baby lap sits for parents to bring their infants all the way up to, you know, seniors who, you know, they may have a few years on me, but they're, you know, 100 years old. We have patrons, so it doesn't matter what age you are or where you live. The other
do you need an ID when you come, or
when you come, if you want a library card, there are a lot of things that you can use in a library without having a library card. So don't think that's a barrier. But if you want to get a library card, you know, just to have some form of identification. Most libraries look at mail addresses, something mailed to you. But it's pretty easy, and then you can use that library card at any of those 70-some library locations.
Oh, that's great.
So if you want, for instance, you were at the Northland Library, if you want to pick up a book there, you can return it to any of the other libraries in the system.
Oh, okay.
You can sit at your computer or use your phone. You can request a book or a video or anything, and you can have it delivered to any of the library that you.
That's about as user-friendly as it gets, I think.
Yes,
and a good price.
It's a great system because we have this sort of consolidated service countywide, delivered by all of these independent libraries. It's great.
That's excellent. Now let's talk a little bit. One thing I love about the show is that viewers get to learn about the person, right? So for you, Marilyn, have you been working in libraries your whole career, or is this?
Well, I made the mistake when my second child got into preschool of going into a library to volunteer. And now I've been in libraries ever since. It was just a place that when I was a child, my mother used to take me to the library on a regular basis. And at that time, that was back in the day when, you know, you had the adult section over here and the children's, and I wasn't allowed to kind of cross that line. And my mother encouraged me by saying, any book you find in this library, I will check out on my card. So from that time on, I've had a really positive experience of libraries, and I wouldn't change it.
Good. What have you seen? You mentioned to me offset that you've been in your role since the late 90s, 1999. What have maybe been some of the biggest changes that you've seen in libraries? And I'm sure there's been a lot from 99 to now in 2016, but what have been some of the biggest changes in that time period?
Well, I think there are two primary changes. First of all, the technology. We have, bar none in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we have the best online system anywhere. And that's because we all participate in the same system. So if you go into the Braddock Library, you're going to experience the same computer setup as you would at Northland, Mount Lebanon, you name it, City of Pittsburgh. So the technology has really changed our service model, because now we have people bringing their own devices in. So we have Wi-Fi available at all of the libraries, and it's free. You know, you don't have to sit in the, well, you could sit in the parking lot and use it, but you can come in where it's nice and cool and comfortable.
Absolutely.
So the technology has changed significantly. I think the other thing that has changed is that libraries have sort of gone back to their roots as community centers. You know, with the consolidation of bookstores, you know, it used to be on a Friday night, a lot of people would show up at a Barnes & Noble or, you know, some bookstore for programming, but many of those bookstores have gone out of business. And there are very, very few community spaces that are open to the general public. We've been really fortunate because the Regional Asset District supports our library system and the technology infrastructure. And so a number of our libraries have been able to upgrade their facilities and everything. But the technology, you know, putting a technology into a building that's over 100 years old presents challenges, but we have really good folks that work on that. And so I am constantly amazed at the things that go on in libraries today.
It's a good lead-in with the technology focus of your answer. Just thinking about the next maybe 10 or 15 years, the time when our little brothers will be coming our age in their 30s and 40s. What kind of things do you think we'll be seeing maybe in the next 10 to 20 years in libraries that we're not seeing now? What is kind of a forward-thinking?
Well, just this week we're seeing a lot of people using Pokemon Go because libraries are stops or
4 years ago when somebody watches this episode, they'll be like, what was that again?
Yeah, really, exactly.
Pokemon Go is the thing.
I'm not even sure 10 years is, you know, adequate because it changes overnight. I think that one of the things that we've discovered about teens is that they are in some ways teched out. They are connected 24/7. And what they're looking for is social interaction. And so libraries are a space for them to go to, whether it's after school or in the summer or something. So I think that while libraries will continue to follow that technology curve, we're also about the people. And that's our primary business.
That's great. What are ways for folks to keep in touch with you and with ACLA? What's a good way, maybe a website or just ways to get information?
You can go to aclalibraries.org. We have lots of information there. It will allow you to connect with your local library, like if you don't really know where the closest one is. We have a mapping system so that you can find your local library. All kinds of information on how to get a library card and what you can do with it. So
that's great.
Definitely visit aclalibraries.org.
All right. Well, thanks, Marilyn.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
so much. For our young leaders watching at home, please make sure to listen to Marilyn Jenkins. Go join your local library.
Absolutely.
It is incredibly user-friendly. You can take books out. It even sounds like you can return them at the library of your choice, which is incredible. There's all kinds of technology opportunities as well, technological opportunities with your library. So Marilyn, I thank you for your time on the show. Congrats on your 17 years so far leading ACLA. That's amazing. And keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Okay,
I will.
Thanks, Marilyn. We'll be right back in just a minute with Elise Pinchback and Kylie Lasota from the Pittsburgh Urban Magnet Project. Again, you're tuned in to Get Involved Pittsburgh TV 21.
Excellent.
Hi, and welcome back to episode number 19 of Get Involved Pittsburgh here on PCTV 21 and 47. We hope you enjoyed our first guest today, Marilyn Jenkins from ACLA, the Allegheny County Library Association. As we mentioned at the end of that segment, please make sure to join your local library. It is free to join, incredibly user-friendly, so make sure to check out your local library. Our next two guests are leaders within an organization that means a lot to both my wife and I. When I moved back to our city after college, I got really involved in an organization called PUMP, the Pittsburgh Urban Magnet Project. Spent a lot of my nights and weekends with playing sports, honestly, in the Pittsburgh Sports League. Sometimes 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week. It was an amazing way to spend the mid-zeros of the mid-2000s. It was really incredible. But Elise Pinchback's here, Kylie Lasota's here. Elise is the PUMP president, PUMP board chair. Kylie is the secretary of the board. Thanks for being here on the show.
Thank you for having us.
All right. So this is a big period for PUMP, right? Turning 20, the Pittsburgh Sports League is about to turn 15. What do you see as kind of the big accomplishments, Elise, as the board chair of those last 20 years for PUMP as an organization?
Well, I think that the fact that PUMP is still going strong and still a viable force for young people and young thinking people in the region is really the biggest thing for me. So I think some exciting things that are really coming back is our movement back into the civic engagement space. So part of the reason that PUMP started was to really keep young people here, but also to give them a voice in the region. So to have the opportunity to get back into that space, we're working on developing a public policy agenda, really getting back into that space and saying, you know, here are the things that are exciting to us in terms of keeping people here. So I think that's definitely a big piece. Of course, the 20th anniversary, we're going to celebrate it, and of course we know it's the 200th anniversary of the city. So to be in the same year, I think is also very exciting. The Pittsburgh Sports League continues to be very strong and viable. The 15th year, as you mentioned. Also, really trying to expand that work. We have a new program that we're very excited about, Pump to Run, where we have some of our sports league members and other community members who are actually running with some of the people who are in some of the homeless shelters. So really bridging the gap between people in the sports league and also pushing some of the health and wellness aspects into other parts of the community who need them.
That's great. That's a great overview. Yeah. Kylie and Elise, how did you first get involved in Pump? What are kind of your early experiences in Pump before you got to be board leaders?
Sure. I think I was mostly involved in some of the social networking events, and then I also went to all the 40 under 40s and had a lot of friends who were playing PSL and who were on the board, and I just found it to be a really cohesive group of young people who wanted to make the city more vibrant, make it more livable for everyone, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of the organization at this level.
Great.
For me, I think it's always been kind of through that community development aspect. So I've been a member of other organizations, including Urban League Young Professionals, and we partnered a lot with Pump. So when there was an opportunity to take some leadership and kind of bridge those two worlds, I jumped at the opportunity.
That's great. Very good. A lot of good things going on with Pump. I know we've talked a little bit about PSL. We'll get more into that in just a minute or two. Let's talk about 40 under 40. Kylie, you mentioned some of your early experiences were with 40 under 40. What is 40 under 40, maybe for somebody that's watching at home or online that's never been to the event or kind of checked it out?
Sure. So 40 under 40 takes place every year in October, late October, and we honor 40 young people under the age of 40 that are doing great work in the city, that are really trying to move the city forward and become more dynamic. And so Pump partners with Pittsburgh Magazine on that. And we have a selection committee. We solicit nominations from the public, and then we take those nominations and through a rigorous process, we try to come up with the most diverse group of individuals who really represent the city and moving the city forward for that particular year.
That's great. And I know you've been trying to do, Kylie, I know you headed this up for us former Pump board members and for some of the alumni of 40 under 40. It seems like trying to tap into people that have had a role in Pump in the past or have been involved. How are those efforts going?
They're fantastic. Actually, we're in our 20th year. We began in 1996. And we're having a celebration to celebrate all the work that Pump has done and all the work that we hope to accomplish in the coming years. And we're having a celebration at the Energy Innovation Center.
It's a nice place.
Yeah, it's a nice place. And it's going to be on September 30th, so it's a Friday. Anyone is welcome to come. We want it to be a diverse audience. And we want to really highlight and capture, what we've done. We want to honor the people who have contributed, like yourself. So expect an invitation to come
absolutely.
soon. But we want to also celebrate where we're hoping to head into the future, and how, as Elise said, with programs like Pump to Run, we're really trying now to think creatively about how we can reach more people in the city, that we're thinking strategically about diversifying our audience and really reaching more marginalized populations.
What are some of the kind of the current metrics of Pump? I don't know if you know the exact numbers, but number of members, maybe number of PSL participants, attendees, those kind of things.
Yeah, so we have about 25,000 members, and everyone who participates in Pittsburgh Sports League also has to become a member. Right. So we absolutely want people to be involved for a couple reasons. So we definitely want the people who are running the bases to know what's going on in the city and vice versa.
That's great. So let's talk about PSL. Again, I think we spent half of our salaries back in the zeros on Pittsburgh Sports League. I remember when they ran the stats, I think from like 2008 or so, Aaron and I were like the second and fourth most prolific PSLers. Like it was what we did and met so many just unbelievable friends, honestly, that we still talk to every day and still hang out with. It really was an incredible way to get engaged here in the region. Friends that ended up serving on boards together, going on trips together. It's really incredible what comes out of PSL. So maybe for somebody that's watching and loves playing sports or even likes being involved in sports, what is the PSL? How do they get involved?
Right. PSL is this Pittsburgh Sports League. We have about 15 to 20 different types of leagues, everything from bowling, to kickball, softball, soccer, to something a little less physical, maybe like cornhole.
Sure, right.
So there really is something for everyone. We run and manage all of the scheduling. We get the t-shirts, so we do all of that back end administrative work and provide the referees and things like that. And you just, someone who wants to participate just signs up. They can come with a team, or they can sign up as an individual. It's a great way for newcomers to the city that maybe don't have friends yet to meet new people. People have met their best friends, like yourself. People have met their spouses.
A lot of friends that met their spouses through PSL.
Yeah.
That's true.
So it's truly just a great way to meet people, to have fun, to stay active, to stay engaged. And then we've also created this Hometown Hotspot program, which is located throughout the city at about 12 to 15 different restaurants. And so we've tried to strategically kind of place them near the fields that PSL uses, so that people can have a game or a practice with their team and then go out afterwards.
That's very nice.
And socialize a little bit further over some, a meal, and then they can get a discount and a deal through Pump.
Yeah.
And do you still have the end of the season parties?
Yes, we
Okay,
do.
okay.
We do. And I was just going to say a couple other exciting things about the Hometown Hotspots is that when we host our monthly happy hours, we try to recognize or to highlight other organizations that are doing great work in the city. So connecting that community involvement piece to the sports league. So we actually have 4 areas that Pump focuses on. So education and employment, infrastructure and connectivity, health and wellness, and diversity and inclusion. So at the hotspots during each monthly event, we feature one of them, and there's an opportunity to either donate to their cause or to learn more about them. And also our sports league is actually one of the largest intramural sports leagues in the country, and we've actually been nationally recognized for our work. So right here in Pittsburgh, we have one of the best
City of
sports
Champions,
leagues.
yeah. That's
Absolutely.
Very good. Very good. It's a lot of great things going on with you're both volunteers, you're volunteer board members. It's a very small staff though, led by Brian McGee.
Yeah.
How big is the team that kind of puts all of this great work together for Pump within the staff?
We have about 8 to 10 staff members.
Oh, okay.
We've acquired some interns over the last few years, and then we have a board that's about 25 in size.
And we are absolutely a working board. So we all serve on committees, and we really roll our sleeves up to help with the work as well.
Great. It's a neat, a lot of times one of the things that Get Involved tries to break down is the thought that if you're in your 20s and 30s, you can't be on a board of directors. You have to be more seasoned in your career. You have to have all the money. And that's just not true. I mean, you're both in very senior leadership roles, obviously, on the board here. And it's a great way for young professionals to serve on a board. What's your experience been? I know you've been on some other organizations, some other boards, but what's the experience been as a board member, Kylie, for you?
This is the first board that I've been on, so I feel like it's been a growing experience. However, I feel like because I was friends with board members prior to this, I had pretty good concept of what being on a board looked like, and it's just been great now after serving for 2 or so years, being a veteran board member and really onboarding new people and kind of taking them under my wing and mentoring them and taking a more strong leadership role on the board. So it's been fantastic. Our board is extremely strong. We've worked very hard to diversify our organization, starting with the board, and so our board has become very diverse in terms of industry and in terms of all walks of life of where these individuals are coming from. They're very thoughtful, forward-thinking young professionals, and I truly feel honored to be with them. I feel like they have such energy and such talent and skills, and collectively, I think that we're doing a lot of great things for the city and really doing it in a thoughtful way that tries to promote how terrific Pittsburgh is, but take it to the next level.
That's great. Very good. And I know, at least you've been on other boards and involved with other organizations, but what's this experience been like on the Pump board for you?
It's been a great experience. So this is my 4th year on the board, and like Kylie said, I mean, we've really grown over the years. So the board has become more diverse in a lot of different ways. I mean, that's been exciting for me, especially as an African-American woman, to see the board become more diverse by race and ethnicity. But yes, I mean, a very strong board, and I think that reason that we're so strong is because the organization has become so strong. And I'd be remiss if I really didn't mention Brian, our CEO, and the work that he's done. You know, Brian really came in, rolled his sleeves up, really helped to rebuild some of our infrastructure. You know, he's done a great job in helping us to get foundation and organizational and corporate sponsors. So he makes our job easy. He just helps us to come in, you know, really look at what's going on, make some decisions. He led us through a strategic planning process about 3 years ago where we really outlined those priority areas, you know, our approach to the work. So, you know, it's just been exciting to serve in this role.
My wife is very proud of Brian. She was the chair of the selection committee when we brought him to Pittsburgh, and he's incredible, and he's done a great job, really professionalized. I mean, he's just done an amazing job. So
well, we still hear about Erin's legacy too.
Okay,
Yes, absolutely.
And yours too.
Even though I was the one that was president, I think she was the much better pump board member, I will say. But we both really enjoyed our 8 years on the board, different you know, different terms, but great organization, great things going on. You know, it's been 20 years for Pump, 15 for PSL. When, you know, 15 or 20 years from now, where do you see PSL and Pump at? What are some things, you know, when we all come back and we're a little bit more seasoned in our careers, where would you like to see Pump and PSL at?
I'm really curious to see how this transitions, because right now we serve young and young thinking people, and so as these young thinking people or these young people kind of age out, I would like to still see them engaged with Pump. So I think part of our challenge will be, how do we still continue to do the work that we're doing and engage those folks that that are no longer those young professionals, but still really want to see the city become more vibrant. So I think we might, as an organization, evolve into serving a larger age constituency per se, so that we can still keep those people close, because they still will want to be engaged. Like, you know, yourself and myself, we will still want to be engaged.
Absolutely.
But I'll let you speak.
Yeah, at least what do you see as the future?
I mean, I think that in the future, you know, I see Pump as really being a household name. So when it comes to thinking about what young people and young thinking people want in this region, Pump's who you're going to call, because we've been able to get, you know, that membership base behind us who feels represented, who feel like they have a voice, who've been connected to some of the resources and people in the city. So, you know, for me, you know, we're really going to continue to position ourselves as, you know, that first to call as it relates to young people in this city.
That's great. And what are ways that people, if they're watching at home or online, how do they learn about Pump? Website, Facebook, all that good stuff?
It's pump.org.
It's an easy one, yeah.
We have all of the social media up, thanks to our amazing staff. And I think, you know, we just have just a lot of, I'm losing my words here.
Yeah, I mean, I think
we have a lot of things going on. We have
Right.
a lot of events. We have, I meet a lot of newcomers to the city. I'm blessed to meet a lot of newcomers, and I tell them that Pump truly has something for them, whether they want to engage in the social arena or they want to engage in the civic arena and policy. There is something for them in Pump, and I truly encourage everyone to check out what Pump does, because there truly is something for everyone.
Absolutely, and I want to point out that membership is only $5.
That's
Yeah.
doable,
So,
yeah.
$5 a year, and as soon as you come and go to an event, you know, you get that back, because at our hometown hotspot events and a lot of our other events, we do a first beer on us through one of our sponsors. So you basically make that $5 back right away.
Wow, okay, nice. Well, if you're watching, you can literally join the library for free and join Pump for $5, and you're involved in two unbelievable things here in the city. So Elise Pinchback, Kylie Lasota, thanks for all your efforts. You're both representing Pump incredibly. Just congratulations on all the good work you're doing. I should say the good work with Pump, but also with the Pittsburgh Public Schools and also within your school district, Chartiers Valley, Kylie. So good job with all of your good work. Hello, of course, to LaFay at home watching, Elise's mom, who was awesome. LaFay Pinchback, who's a big sister with us with Big Brothers Big Sisters at Southbrook. Just an awesome person as well. So thank you very much to both of you. We'll be back in just a minute with 3 representatives from Big Brothers Big Sisters, Matt Collins and Lauren Sheeb, the co-chairs of the Big Recruitment Board with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and also Taylor Webster. Thanks again for tuning in to Get Involved Pittsburgh on 21 and 47. Hope you enjoyed our interview with Elise and Kylie, and we'll be back in just a minute. Hi, and welcome back to episode number 19 of Get Involved Pittsburgh here on PCTV 21 and 47. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. We've learned about Pump, and we've learned about the libraries here in our community. Our third organization that we're featuring here today in our Making the Burgh a Stronger Community episode is Big Brothers Big Sisters of Greater Pittsburgh, an organization, if you've watched our show over the years, very dear to my heart. The first thing I got involved with in college, right after college back in 2002, and something I've been really proud to be involved with for these last 14 years. Have 3 absolutely amazing little brothers, Preston, Eric, and EJ, who've truly become like family to my wife and I over the years. So feel very lucky to get to work for such an amazing organization, and also feel very lucky to have such amazing colleagues and friends, and you're going to get to meet them now. So with that, we do have Matt Collins here, who is the co-chairman of the Big Recruitment Board. Lauren Sheeb is the other co-chair of the Recruitment Board. Taylor Webster is the Program Outreach Associate for Big Brothers Big Sisters. All 3 of them are bigs with the organization and have served in those roles as bigs for quite some time now. So we'll go with Lauren. I think you actually have the longest standing match. So tell us a little bit about how you got involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters. What would it be, like 6 or 7 years ago, right?
Yeah, nearly 6 years. I actually became involved when Tom came to talk to Key's AmeriCorps. I was a Key AmeriCorps member, and he was just talking about being a big sister. And I have been matched with Cheyenne now for 6 years.
Okay. And what's been your favorite outing with Cheyenne?
Oh, man.
I mean, you guys have had a lot of incredible ones. Yeah.
Yeah. She loves art classes at the Union Project.
Okay.
And then I think when we got to try out that one video game in the Strip District, yeah,
okay.
that was really neat.
Very good. And Matt, I think you're our second most seasoned big brother, big out of the 3 here. 3 or 4 years now for you, Noah?
It's been almost exactly 3.
3 years, great.
Yes.
And how long? What kind of things do you and Noah enjoy doing?
Oh, sure. Well, we're both very active people, so we do
Sure.
a lot of sports, a lot of things that are a little bit different than sports, but still active, like the trampoline parks, climbing wall, things along those lines. Usually, if Noah is uninventive, we go to the trampoline park, and then if one of us is creative, then we figure out something else, like zombie paintball, for example.
Wow.
Which is fun. And I think that probably the biggest trip that we did would be, we went to Cedar Point and actually did an overnight, and he got to meet my whole family. We did a little family reunion, and it was nice to include him in that, and that was last summer.
Okay, excellent. And Taylor, how about for you? How long have you been a big sister with us?
So I've been a big sister for about 2 years now. I got involved based on through my previous employer. We work with a lot of families and children, and we work on like child development assessments and things of that nature. And your name came across as I was, looking for different outreach things for the children to get involved with their families. And so, yeah, it's been great so far. Me and my little Naya, who is now 9, she, we like to do, we're pretty much adventurous. So we like adventurous things. We like to plan. We like to go to the movies. I know when I first started with Naya, one of her favorite things to do was to go to movie night with her school. So we did that every Tuesday. So it's been a good experience so far.
That's good. One of the things that's special about Big Brothers Big Sisters here in Pittsburgh, and other agencies have comparable things, but we have a lot of really great special services programming, all the things that Cheryl does for us and puts together. Maybe if you guys can touch a little bit on some of your favorite outings or picnics or skating parties or fashion show, whatever, some of the neat things you've gotten to do over the years through Big Brothers Big Sisters. Lauren, what kind of stands out for you?
Cheyenne loves the Carlo fashion show every year. I think I've done it, oh my gosh, 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every year she gets to pick out an outfit. We go shopping, and we usually match in some way. And then it's really fun. We get to walk the runway, and we're on camera too, which she absolutely loves.
Yeah, it's really an incredible event, and we should all say a big thanks to Carlo University for their collaborative efforts with us over the years on that event. It's a really neat tiered mentoring program where the Carlo students actually mentor students from Andrew Street High School, and then Bigs and Littles also get to be in the show, get to be involved with it as well. And just an incredible program. The event that Carlo puts together and the funds that they raise for Big Brothers Big Sisters through it is really, really great. So it's a lot of fun to be in the show. Hopefully you'll be back for another year next spring for sure, you and Cheyenne. So Matt, how about for you? What are some maybe the special services things that you and Matt, that you know have enjoyed?
Well, similar to the partnership with Carlo University, I'm always impressed by the other partnerships that Big Brothers Big Sisters has in the community. Another example being the YMCA. And I think it's maybe close to 2 years ago now that the official partnership started at the level it is today, where any big brother and their little, or big sister and their little, can actually sign up for a free membership to the Y of their choice. And then also about every month or two, they have sports days where you can go and there are pre-planned activities. It's great because you end up socializing with all the other bigs and littles that are out there interested in some like activities with yourselves. And I've always found that to be a really fun one.
That's great. Yeah, it's a fun one. It's a really good time. I think sometimes us as the bigs are a little bit overly competitive sports-wise, but we definitely, I know you had to get in trouble once or twice with Cheryl, but it's a lot of fun. Dodgeball with you, but it's a lot of fun, that's for sure. You know, the work that you guys do with the big recruitment board is fantastic. We spend our weekends together sometimes getting the word out. Weeknights, just really making sure that we're out there. Matt and Lauren, maybe you can touch a little bit on the experiences of leading the BRB, some of the goals of the BRB, and what you're trying to do there with the recruitment board.
Definitely. I can go ahead and start on that one. So as a board, our big thing is to make sure that we're educating more people who are either young adults, empty nesters, people with some spare time and energy for children, who may want to get involved or even just learn more about what Big Brothers Big Sisters does, which essentially is providing good role models to kids. And there are 3 types of programs that people can volunteer for. So there is, similar to what people were describing earlier, in Pump, something for everyone in terms of scheduling and ability, and even the type of time that they can invest, whether it's active or just being at a school, spending time with someone, helping with homework, or playing a board game. So going out into the community is always fun for us because we get to attend things like 21 plus nights at the museums or concerts and places where a lot of people show up and just tell people and inform people. What I love about it is we have a great reputation in Pittsburgh. I very rarely come across people who aren't aware of Big Brothers Big Sisters, which just shows that we're seen as having a good impact already. Not to say there's not a lot of needs still out there, though.
Absolutely. Very good. Lauren, how about for you?
Yeah, and you will see us. We'll be at the Carnegie Science Center, the Carnegie History Museum, and we recently partnered with the Heinz History Center as well. And I'm always amazed to see how many organizations are really welcoming to Big Brothers Big Sisters. Always really excited to have us at their events.
Yeah, I mean, the relationships with Zach, I'm just thinking Zach from the Science Center has been incredible. Mallory from the museum has been incredible, and then Caroline Fitzgerald as well, working with the Heinz History Center has been really great. So just allowing us to be there, getting the word out, and you will, when you do see us out in the community, we will always have Smarties. We will tell you to be a big, be a Smartie. We will tell you that at Friday night at 21 Plus night, after dark at the museum. That's the Thrival Festival. Yep. Matt actually brought cookies to that one as well to meet some folks. But
be a cookie, be a big.
that was very good as well. Now on the flip side, Taylor, you're going to be working a lot with the outreach to families for families, and we do actually have a lot of young viewers of this show, maybe kids that are 6 to 13 watching. Right. How can a family get their child involved in Big Brothers Big Sisters?
Well, we hold different events. We have our community picnic coming up this Saturday, so that would be a great time for families and children to come out, and we'll have a booth set up. So they'll be able, we'll have a sign-up sheet for volunteers, and we'll also have a sign-up sheet for parents to enroll their children. So the biggest thing is looking out for events. We're always advertising for our events, within the community. We are always going to different facilities to, support our, our mission. So I would say that would be a good time for families and children to come out and get signed up, and then we can send them out information and give them calls and keep them updated with what's going on.
Yeah, if you like the people that you're watching on the show right now, Taylor and I will be coming out to a lot of your community festivals, PTO meetings, just things that you have going on where we could talk to families, talk to the kids about the program. For Matt, Lauren, and I, and Taylor, we'd be coming out to events where maybe you have a big group of young professionals there. If you have a staff meeting that we could come to and share a little bit about. We're about as grassroots as it gets from getting the word out perspective. You often won't see us on a billboard or a television commercial. You'll just see us at your festival or fair, just having a good time and making sure that we're getting the word out in a grassroots way. So the organization's been around now 51 years. We just had our 51st birthday about a week and a half ago. What do you guys see as volunteers? What do you see as the future, maybe either for the organization or for your little? We'll let you go either way with that one. I know for you, Matt, your little brother's actually at a really cool summer camp learning some leadership skills for lifeguards, right?
That's exactly right. Yes, yeah. So he's getting some nice structure right now, and I think for him, if he was choosing his future, it'd probably be a professional baseball player.
That's what I thought at age 2, so I'm not judging. Yeah.
Yeah. I think for the organization, I've been really encouraged by the growth that I've seen, even though it's already a very well-integrated organization in the city. I believe that Pittsburgh, the chapter, has actually been recognized nationally a few times in the past several years. Based on statistics like the ratings of the kids, the tenure of the matches, the number of matches based on the population, and the fact that every year you're still getting hundreds more children involved than in the past, I think is excellent. It makes us feel good about what we're doing. So seeing that number continue to grow, I think, is great. I've also been really encouraged by the increased partnerships that I've seen come out of it. And I think that that's another thing that we're going to continue to make sure we develop as a board, is building more of those relationships that will help with the mission of BBBS.
Great. Thanks, Matt. How about for you, Lauren? A future of Cheyenne or the organization?
As far as Cheyenne, she wants to be a jewelry designer.
Okay.
She already has her own little business.
Nice.
She sells earrings.
Are those what you're wearing today or no?
Not today. As far as Big Brothers Big Sisters, I would just like to see our board grow too. We're at like 10 to 12 members, and I'd like to see it grow even larger and diversify our board too. That would be really important and really helpful. And just keep contributing to the organization the best way I can, and see it grow and recruit more and more bigs.
Great. And how about for your little sister, Taylor? What do you see as the future for?
So Naya is into sciences.
Okay.
You know, for her as an individual, I like to see her succeed, go to her, fullest potential. You know, we like to do science center, things of that nature. But for the future, I like to see more individuals get involved, because it's like you never know what a difference that you can make in a child's life. And being with Naya obviously has been an experience, and I'm just as happy as can be doing it. So
Awesome.
yeah, I think, if more individuals can get involved and experience the fun that we have in doing what we do, that'd be great.
Great. Yeah, and you're right about more individuals. We always definitely need more bigs to get involved. Matt, for you and I, our gender is less prolific at volunteering with Big Brothers Big Sisters. Doing our volunteer training on Monday night. I have 10 women signed up right now and no men.
Oh my gosh.
That's it's all good. We're very happy to have everyone coming for training on Monday night. But we definitely need more men. We need just more volunteers in general, especially with all the diversified mentoring options that we do have now with Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Right.
It's always one-to-one, but there are some different options. Matt referenced some of the awards recently. We were really proud to be the National Agency of the Year 2 out of the previous 4 years. Tip of the hat to the Ozarks, who took the title this year, but just a couple weeks ago. But we're very proud of all the good things going on. And without the three of you, we would not have been able to serve the record number of 1,400 children last year. So every single volunteer in Big Brothers Big Sisters made that difference to make sure that we got to exactly 1,400. It wasn't 1,398. Wasn't 1,402, it was exactly 1,400. So all three of you made a big difference last year, and you should feel really proud of all the good stuff that you're doing. So thanks very much to Matt Collins, Lauren Sheeb, and Taylor Webster, who did a great job representing Big Brothers Big Sisters here on our third segment of Get Involved Pittsburgh on PCTV 21. We'll be up next with our cleanup hitter, our final slugger here today, Doug Smith from Light of Life. Like I mentioned in the intro, very energetic young professional. I think you'll definitely enjoy hearing from him. Again, thanks to Taylor, Lauren, and Matt. We'll be back in just a minute with Doug Smith. Hi, and welcome back for our final segment of Get Involved Pittsburgh here on PCTV 21. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode. You've learned about Big Brothers Big Sisters, you've learned about ACLA and all the libraries here in our community, and you've learned about Pump. Our final guest today is going to share about Light of Life Rescue Mission and all the great things that are going on within Light of Life. That guest is Doug Smith. Doug, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Tom. It's always an honor.
It's great to be here with you. You're a former Service Summit honoree from a couple years ago, Western PA Rising Star. It's been very nice to see you growing as a leader here in our community. How are things going for you at Light of Life?
Things are great. I've been there for over 5.5 years, and I'm in fundraising. I oversee Major Gifts and our outreach team as well. And that's somewhat of a new responsibility, so I'm having a lot of fun, and I can't believe 5 years has gone so fast.
Yeah, I remember when you were still pretty early on there in your Light of Life journey. Seems like you're definitely doing great. The first event that you and I met at was a Tunch and Wolf event. So Tunch and Wolf, who many people probably know from Steelers fame, are really active with you guys, just really, really active and passionate about Light of Life. What are some of the events you guys do with Tunch and Wolf? I think it's every spring, right?
Yeah, we have 2 events with them each year, and we're really appreciative of them. They came to the mission in 1987 when they were players for the Steelers, and they had to do their normal community service, but as Tunch says, he walked into the mission, and his life has never been the same when he walked out. And so he got Wolf involved, and they've been serving at the mission for almost 30 years now, which is pretty crazy to think about. They do 2 events for us each year that have turned into great fundraisers. One is our Tunch and Wolf Walk for the Homeless, and it's usually held in May. This year we held it in June. It's a great event at Heinz Field.
Absolutely.
And then we also have a More Than a Meal Gala in October that they host at Heinz Field as well for us.
Okay, and there's a special longer walk that they do as well, right? Like a 20-mile hike with Tunch and Wolf,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that is a VIP experience.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we do ask, anybody can do it, but yeah, we do ask for a
That's a larger
suggested
donor.
donation.
Right.
But that's a lot of fun too. So Tunch has always been a big walker, and so his goal is to walk through as many Pittsburgh neighborhoods as possible. For many years, we were doing between 20 and 26 miles each year, and now as they're getting a little bit older, we're starting to cut back a little bit. Not everyone that's come with us has been able to make it the whole way.
That is a lot of miles for all of us. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Very good. So I was at an event for Big Brothers. You were nice enough to invite us to the Day of Hope.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on there on the north side at the Day of Hope event.
Yeah, so the Day of Hope is an outreach that I guess we had done years ago, and we brought back about 5 years ago after a few years of not doing it. And it's just our way of having a huge community outreach day. We served just under 1,000 meals that day to the community in need. We had live entertainment all day. Over 40 agencies were there to let the community know about what services they offer. And we did community outreaches all day, so we were cleaning the north side. People were sorting clothes at our donation center, handing out donations, and it was just a great way to really serve the north side.
Great. One of your, it was great to be there. Met a lot of terrific people. One of the events you have coming up really soon here, if folks don't get on board for it for 2016, hopefully they can connect with it for 2017. And it's the aptly named Yinzer 5K. What is the Yinzer 5K all about?
Yeah, so everyone started doing 5Ks a few years back, so we were like, hey, why don't we start one? And as we were brainstorming, we thought no one is doing anything Yinzer-like, and so we thought, why not do the Yinzer 5K? So this will be the 4th year, and we're really excited. We're really starting to get more Pittsburgh celebrities and faces known. Jim Kren's coming from DVE. We're trying to get Pittsburgh Dad. A few WTAE personalities are coming, and we just want to make it a really big all-Pittsburgh event. And yeah, we're really excited.
Sounds
about
fun.
it.
Great name.
Yeah.
I love, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you don't check it out this year, make sure you check out the Yinzer 5K in 2017. It'll be the 5th year for that one. You have a nice gala every year, the More Than a Meal Gala. What's a little bit about that event?
Yeah, so we named it More Than a Meal because a lot of people just think we're a soup kitchen, which we do serve meals every single day of the year. Last year we served over 192,000 meals to those in need, which is great, but we also have long-term programming. We have an education and department program. We have a mentoring program. And often, so many times, people just think Light of Life is a meal.
Right.
And so our biggest marketing challenge is really to make people realize we're more than a meal. And so it's just a wonderful night. We usually have over 300 people gathered. Tunch and Wolf MC, and they always do a great job. And then you get to hear stories of lives that have been changed at Light of Life, which is always
That's very
a great
nice.
reminder of why we do what we do.
That's great. You know, we talked a little bit earlier in the show about the libraries, and you know, it's a lot more than just books on a shelf. I think you're right that sometimes people with Light of Life just think that it is meals. What do you think is a fact about, or something that you guys do that people would be most surprised to know about Light of Life? Just something that they'd be shocked. Oh, they provide that resource, or they provide that programming.
Yeah, so overall, what we provide is we provide food and shelter, which most people know about.
Mm-hmm.
We actually provide housing for, on average, anywhere from 125 to 150 people each night throughout all of our programs. We have 2 long-term programs for men and women and children, where they actually stay with us from 9 months to up to 24 months at a time. And with that, we also have an education and employment department, specifically focused on, you know, do they need to get their GED? Do they need to go to college? What's their next step? Do they need to get into trade school? And so we help educate them, and then we work with local businesses to get them jobs and get the guys hired. And again, we're a Christian organization too, so we try to get the hope of Christ into them as well while they're in our doors.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Christmas. Christmas is a big time of year for you guys, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I know we're taping this in the summer, we're getting to be the fall, but it will be that time of year, you know, real soon, Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
So what are some of the resources that you guys, I know those are busy times of the year for Light of Life.
Yeah, and I'll just say this, since we're airing, it'll air pretty early. If you want to serve on any of those days, Thanksgiving or Christmas,
Okay.
you need to send an email today.
Okay.
Our volunteer coordinator will literally spend a month telling people they can't serve on
Really?
Thanksgiving. Just because everyone,
Yeah.
we like to tell people, hey, there's 364 other days you can serve throughout the
Right,
year.
yeah, that's true.
But we have lots of opportunities for people to get involved throughout the holidays. We during Thanksgiving, we actually have this huge outreach called Thanksgiving Dinner Basket Outreach, and we actually work with other nonprofits, about 15 of them on the north side, and they identify families that are in need that they serve, and then we provide and partner with churches to fill over 500 Thanksgiving dinner baskets, and then they actually get hand delivered by the nonprofits that serve them. So that's one way we give back, and there's lots of volunteer opportunities with that. Thanksgiving obviously is a huge outreach. We'll serve over 1,000 meals that day, and the same thing with Christmas, and we have a huge outreach. And then we do tons of stuff like a Christmas giving program for the kids in our program. We have Christmas parties. Yeah,
awesome.
it's
Love
our
that stuff, yeah.
October through December is our busy season, and we'd love for people to get involved.
It's a good reminder, though, too. I mean, I think a lot of times when people think of volunteers, I'll do that on Thanksgiving, I'll do that on Christmas.
Yeah.
But you really do need their help all those other days of the year. What is kind of the best way, if people are interested, they're watching the show at home or online, how can somebody just kind of get involved with Light of Life?
Yeah, our process for anyone wanting to get involved, go to the website, lightoflife.org, and you'll see a tab that says Get Involved, named after Tom Baker.
No, I did not.
The Tom Baker tab.
That is not, that's funny.
But if you click Get Involved, you'll see an application to apply to be a volunteer. And then our volunteer will contact you about attending an orientation. Again, a lot of people just think the only way they can help at Light of Life is serve meals, but really our goal for every volunteer who wants to get involved is to find their gifting and passion, because that's where they're going to make the best difference. And so we have them attend a 1-hour orientation so they can get a sense of everything that's available to them, and then we plug them in from there. And so that's the process.
And just organizationally, how big is your team? Your staff, your board. Do you guys still have a young professional board? Or?
We do, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Maybe we'd have some young professionals watching that might want to get involved with you guys. What are some good ways to get involved in, maybe on a board way or a committee way?
Yeah, so we do have we call it our Young Professional Advisory Council, so that's what we named it.
Good.
But yeah, we do have
Okay.
young professionals on it, and the president of the Young Professional Advisory Council actually gets to sit on our board and go to the board meetings and in a non-voting role, but it's a great way to get that experience.
Great. Yeah.
And so yeah, we're always looking for young professionals to join and help lead in that capacity. Light of Life staff-wise, we have about 50 staff. Which seems large, but again, we're a 24/7 facility. We have men, women, and children living with us, and so we always need people on duty, and it's great. Yeah, we have a fantastic board as well.
Okay. I think you're the perfect closer for this question, but the theme of the show is making the Burgh a stronger community. How do you think Light of Life is doing that on a daily basis?
Yeah, I mean, as long as there's people that are in need, we're there to serve them. And oftentimes the people that come through our doors it's their last resort. They've burnt all the bridges with their family, all the relationships, they've been to the rehabs, and they've come with no hope. And so hopefully we can provide hope for the hopeless. That's really our hope as people walk through our doors, whether hope looks like a meal so they can actually have something to eat, to having a bed for somewhere to sleep. And ultimately we hope that we'll be able to provide the resources for them to get back on their feet again and live a life that they should live.
That's great. All right, well, congratulations. Again, what's the website if people want to check you guys out?
www.lightoflife.org.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thanks to Doug Smith. Congratulations to you and Laura, of course, on the addition to your family. So very proud and very happy for you guys. That was Doug Smith from Light of Life. He does a lot of great work with Light of Life, and it's an awesome organization. Just so many things going on there to help folks in our community, and really proud to have you on the show today. So good job to Doug Smith. I hope you really enjoyed today's episode. We got to learn about the libraries. We got to learn about PUMP, a great young professionals organization. We had that big moment with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and finally we learned about Light of Life. The main thing, hopefully, that you're all leaving as we're tuning off from Get Involved Pittsburgh is just there are so many things here to do in our city, so many reasons to be inspired every day by volunteerism, by people giving back, by people spending their time together. That's really what our community is all about. So please keep doing those things. If you heard about something on the episode that really stood out that you'd want to get involved with, please definitely let me know or let us know. We love taping the show for you at PCTV 21 and 47 on a regular basis. I do want to give a shout out to John, who is our producer today. Eric, we're with Eric a lot, but we had John today. John did a really great job keeping us organized and hopefully producing some good television for you. So again, thanks for tuning in to episode number 19. We'll be back soon with episode 20, and thank you. And please make sure that you do something to get involved in Pittsburgh today. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.